following announcement has been paid for by the
Wealth Management Advisory Club. Hey everybody, it's the president of the Wealth Management Advisory Club, Jack Mitchell here. Welcome back to another exciting WMA club meeting. Before I send you guys off, this awesome meeting you guys better watch today. A couple announcements on our end as always. We have three announcements today for you guys. The first one, obviously I think most of you are probably curious, Jack, where is the Edward Jones meeting recording? Well, got some sad news for you guys about that. Due to compliance over at Edward Jones, they are not allowing us to upload this meeting on our social media pages and not on our YouTube page or our Rumble page, and especially the live stream. So that means we have actually had to take down all of them on all of our social media platforms. So if anyone was not able to make the meeting in person on Tuesday, unfortunately you weren't able to, see the whole thing. But as a little consolation prize, if you want to watch Edward Jones come speak to us, if you go back to the archives, you go back to our YouTube page or our Rumble page, or go to our website, the official WMA Club's website, FDU Wealth Management Advisory Club.com, not the one that FDU Silberman made because they have inaccurate information. Go to there, and you're able to watch the meeting from last year when Edward Jones come in to speak to us, where it was agreed by compliance to record. So again, we do apologize for that. But with that out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. So the two other announcements. First, we have added another bonus event. Yes, we've added another bonus event. And I think some of you guys may remember this event because we did it last semester, and unfortunately, it did not go the way we were hoping it would. So this time around, it's going to be better. Because on April 26, 2023, from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. in the Monitor Center, room 113, the Joyful Room, WMA Club will be hosting the Beta Alpha Psi Nu Sigma Chapter 2023 Spring Semester Elections Watch Party. Yes, we're doing it again because this time there has to be board elections for BAP. So we thought, you know what, let's do it again. And we thought it was a great success last semester. Why don't we do it again? So it will be from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. in the Joyful Room. Anyone does not know what the Joyful Room is basically the Monitor Center, room 113, as another way of saying go to that room. Obviously, I will be there, and you will be able to cheer on and support yours truly, as I'll be running for Beta Alpha Psi Nu Sigma Chapter President, and our VP, Gloria Petruska, running for Beta Alpha Psi Nu Sigma Chapter Vice President. And have a lot of fun with us. Our e-board will be there. We'll have a lot of fun and games. We'll play a little bit of music. Obviously, not loud music, otherwise we want to get public safety over here. So again, enjoy us for a great day and probably a day that you guys are never going to forget. So that will be April 26th from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. in the Joyful Room on the Forum campus. Metro members, if you guys want to come, the more the merrier. You're more than welcome to come. All right, so that does away with that. All right, finally, it is time for our sponsors showcase. Yes, we are still going to do our sponsors showcase because why not? Now, unfortunately, due to the Edward Jones meeting, we were supposed to actually have feature a sponsor for that meeting. However, since we are not putting that recording up, we actually had to relegate that sponsor down to another meeting. So, for this meeting and the next meeting, we are going to have not one, but two sponsors for this meeting. Yes, two sponsors. And you guys want to know what they are? Well, I'm about to tell you guys right here and right now. So, the first sponsor of this week's meeting is sponsored by our good friends over at iSpring, the ultimate e-learning authoring tool for creating high-quality, engaging, and interactive online courses. With iSpring, you can easily transfer your knowledge into captivating e-learning content that your audience will love. iSpring is designed to meet the needs of both beginners and experienced e-learning creators. Whether you want to create a simple course or a complex learning system, iSpring has everything you need to get started. With their user-friendly interface and a wide range of powerful features, you can easily create beautiful and effective e-learning content in just seconds. And one of their standout features is the ability to convert your PowerPoint into interactive online courses. With just a few clicks, you can transfer your existing slides into engaging and interactive e-learning content that your learners will love. Instead of you sitting in a room for an hour, 30 minutes, listening to the professor lecture or the slides being like, I don't know what we're doing. Make it engaging and fun. It also offers a range of interactive features such as quizzes, surveys, simulations, and dialogue simulations to make your courses more engaging and effective. Plus, with their built-in video and audio editing tools, you can create high-quality multimedia content that will keep your learners engaged and motivated. And you know what the best part about this is? It allows you to publish your courses in a variety of formats, including HTML5, Squirrel, and XAPI, making it easier to deliver your content across a range of platforms and devices. So if you're looking for an easy-to-use, powerful e-learning authoring tool that can help you create engaging and effective online courses, look no further than iSpring. Try it today and take your e-learning to the next level. So if you click the link in our link tree, or if you go to our website, go to our sponsors page, and click that link for iSpring, you'll be able to sign up to receive a free 14-day free trial on us and on iSpring as well to try it out. So that is our first sponsor of today's meeting. Now we go to our second sponsor of today's meeting, and this one I actually have been waiting to do for a while. Actually, one of our newer ones we actually have brought in the past couple of weeks. So our second sponsor of this meeting is sponsored by one of our good friends over at Venmo, the easiest and most convenient way to send and receive your money with just a few taps on your phone. Do you hate dealing with cash and writing up checks? I know. Us, in this generation, we hate writing checks. We want to do it electronically. But Venmo, you can say goodbye to those hassles and easily split the bill, pay your friends back, or receive payments right from your phone, right from here. Signing up for Venmo is free, fast, and easy. Simply download the app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, link your bank account or debit card, and start sending or receiving money instantly. Venmo is more than just a payment app. Let me tell you something. You can add a personal touch to your transactions by adding emojis and comments, making your payments more fun and social. You can also see your transaction history, track your spending, and even split the bill to your friends right from the app. Instead of just basically saying, hey, here's the bill, here's the payment over here. Boring. You want to make it fun and engaging. But that's all in all. No. It also offers additional features like their Venmo card, which allows you to spend your Venmo balance anywhere where MasterCard is accepted, obviously. And Venmo Rewards, which offers you cash back on select purchases. So what are you waiting for? Download the Venmo app today and start making payments the easy and convenient way. So, same thing. If you go to our link tree or if you go to our website, you click the sponsors page and go to the Venmo button. And if you do that, you'll be able to sign up for a free account. And on top of that, you'll be able to earn $10. Thanks to your friends over at WMA Club and over at Venmo. Again, I'd like to thank Venmo for being today's sponsors of today's meeting. So, with that being said, if you're ready, I know I most certainly am ready. Let's get you guys off to the meeting.
And now, our feature presentation.
Just want to make sure you mute your Yeah, you might. I'm Jim. Because I don't want there to be any echoing. Turn that. Usually happens. It's over. You're safe. Mind them that. All right. Hello, everybody. Oh, here. Now it's usually the mute like there, and then when I'm done introing, you could turn that back on, and then you can turn the mic on. Because somehow, because we do is we record our meetings for our members who couldn't make it. So usually. It happens sometimes with speakers. They forget to turn my mic off when I do this. So it's like, it's a common thing. So you guys aren't the first to do that, but hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Wealth Management Advisory Club meeting. Today, we have New York Life coming to speak to us and introduce our speaker. Well, something I've written up here. So hold on. And then I will pass it off to our speakers for today. iPad won't open tonight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed members of WMA Club, it was my great pleasure and honor to introduce you, our distinguished speaker today, Mr. Jim Fiorello. As a highly representative investment professional and thought leader in the world of wealth management and advisory, Jim brings a wealth of knowledge and experience that spans over 2 decades. Graduating with his honors from Harvard University, Jim has established himself as a true expert in the financial industry. He has numerous leadership positions in renowned global investment firms, has made significant contributions to the development of the innovative financial strategies and solutions for both private and institutional clients. As an accomplished author and speaker, James has been invited to speak at numerous, meetings like this one right here today, obviously, sharing his insight on investment strategies, risk management, and global market trends. His passion for educating others has also led him to be a guest lecturer at top business schools, where he continues to inspire the next generation of financial professionals. In addition to his professional achievements, James is a dedicated philanthropist supporting various charitable organizations focused on education and community development. Through his work, he has helped countless individuals to achieve their dreams and create a better future for themselves and their families. Today, we are privileged to have James, not James. My bad, I think about another person. Jim shares his experience and wisdom with us as he discusses relation trends, challenges, and opportunities in the wealth management advisory industry, and also talk about New York life itself. So with that being said, guys, if you guys can turn your cameras on, I know there's people in the waiting room. I forgot to admit you guys in, ask a lot of questions, have a lot of fun. And Jim, I'll let you take the floor from here then.
Thank you. I have a colleague here as well.
I apologize for that. That's all right.
On bring a colleague along, so.
Hi, how are you? I'm Danny Carnasella. Been with New York Life for 22 years. Was in wealth management, transitioned over into management. Certainly hope that we'll have a lot of questions answered today. Get some excitement from the room, and let's make this an exciting opportunity here for the next 45 minutes or so.
And then I'll be able to, if I share my screen, people will be able to see it. All right. All right, so can you see my screen?
No.
Oh, actually, hold on. Good.
Yes.
All right, so what we'll start with would be just talking about, what a career with us looks like. You can get an idea of what a day in the life would look like for someone in a financial services capacity. We can talk through what all that looks like. We can talk through what our experience has been like, and then if there's any questions that you guys would like to ask, we can definitely, take those questions as well. So, New York Life is a company that's been around since the 1800s. We are a protection first, financial planning organization. So we do anything from, life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance, all the way through, wealth management. So really anything that a client could potentially need, and the client could be an individual, it could be a family, it could be a business, anything that they could possibly need from anywhere within, the financial spectrum. We've got, the products and the services that can assist them with whatever financial goals or whatever concerns that they have. So the way that we actually do this with people is we find out what they're looking for, we find out what their goals are. We make sure that we understand where they're coming from and where they want to go. We spend a lot of time making sure that we're working on building relationships with them, and the relationships that we have with our clients typically will last, for their, entire lives, which is pretty cool. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add about what we do and how we do it.
Yeah, what I would add to that is New York Life, as Jim had mentioned, we've been around 178 years now. And probably one of the biggest differences that you'd see from a financial firm like New York Life versus the firms like Merrill Lynch, who strategically focus on wealth management and wealth management alone. We take a little bit different planning solution guide to that, is that we start off with that foundational planning first. I don't know if you hear the background noise, but they're having a party in a hallway, so that keeps it interesting here. So we really start with that foundational planning, and then we well, I will tell you, it's keeping it interesting at best. So the main part that we do is we start off with that protection level of foundational planning, and then we bring it right up to wealth management. So we have the capacity to really work with individuals and businesses from the ground level and help them build and shape what their financial futures will look like, with the ending being true overall wealth management.
All right, we didn't necessarily know what format we would be presenting to, so we're just kind of we have a career deck that we go through, and just pardon me as I work through it to see what makes sense to talk about with you guys. But I would say the main reasons that people typically come to us for a career, you can see their purpose, autonomy, and income. So the way that we usually refer to it is the 3 I's: independence, income, and impact. So in this career, you get to have flexibility. It's not your 9 to 5 where you're going to be in an office every day. You have flexibility, you have autonomy. It allows you to be an entrepreneur and act like a business owner while working for a huge Fortune 100 company. And you get to prioritize things outside of work that are important to you, things like family, things like charitable, interest and that type of stuff. So you have the independence. Then you've got impact. So impact. You get to help people. You get to do good for others. You get to feel like you're providing value to people's lives, and you're providing a good service within your community and for your friends, your family, your loved ones, whoever wants to do work with you. And the third main reason that people come to us would be for income. This is a career where, whether you're a producer, in the wealth management or the financial services, professional type role, or you have a career where you want to go into management and be a partner or a senior partner, or managing partner, or vice president. It's a career that can pay you very well and can be very lucrative for those that succeed. So I don't know if you want to talk about development.
So a couple of things that we do here that are truly unique. And if you looked into New York Life and our training platforms, you'd see that we've really set the standard over the years of how our training platform works. And it's really combined with a couple of different things, right? We're going to spend a lot of time making sure as a new wealth advisor coming in, they're going to have the opportunity to grow their knowledge base, understand the different products and services that we provide. What makes us even further unique is that we also make sure that we have our management team, myself, someone like Jim Fiorello as well, that we're there as a coach to stand behind our team to make sure that as they're growing, we're identifying areas that we can improve to make sure that learning curves are shortened and that we provide the best foundation for long-term success. The tools that we use, particularly in New Jersey, for the outcome of the success of our advisors, is we take a multiple approach to doing that. First is our typical online NILAC University training platform, aside from our development managers, and then working right through the partners here, myself and Jim, to make sure that we take that 3-pronged approach to make sure that there's a successful path for those that can see the value and can appreciate the long-term benefits of being a wealth manager or advisor here with New York Life.
Yeah. So I think what we'll do is we can probably skip here to what the career pathways look like. So as I mentioned before, you can have a career with us, as an advisor, as a wealth manager, as an insurance agent, whatever that would look like for certain individuals and what they're licensed for and what their interests are. But there's also the opportunity to go into management as well. So there's a pretty long career path. So your first, what I'd call is probably your first 2 years, what you're ultimately doing is you're learning, the business, you're sharpening, your skills, and you're getting equipped to understanding what you need to do to run a successful business in this setting. And then I would say once we get through that point is when we would figure out what's the next step for you in your career. What is it that you want to do? Do you want to get into wealth management? Do you want to get into retirement planning? Do you want to get into estate planning? What is it that you want to do for your career? Or do you want to have a career in management where you get to lead and coach and develop others and help them be successful in this career too? So there's multiple ways that you can grow. Sometimes your growth just has to do with growing your education and growing your skill set. And sometimes it's growing into a leadership capacity. So, being a part of an organization that gives you options on how you can grow, but I would also say that, offers transparency to what growth looks like and what you would have to accomplish to achieve growth with the organization are things that, you would want to be looking for with whatever, career path you go down. So you can be a financial professional, which would allow you to work with families and young professionals, business owners, peer retirees, and then you can see the things here that you'd be able to offer in that type of position. But then we can have you specialize, in certain things. You can see that up here: retirement planning, financial guidance, and this is a wealth management club, so I'm going to highlight wealth advisory, right? So when you're in that capacity with us, it shows you here all the different things that that you can do. So again, it just kind of speaks back to the diversity of what is offered, by the company and the different avenues that you can take in growing as a professional. And if you want to become a manager with us, the first role that you would be is a partner. When you're a partner, you lead a team of other advisors. You use your experience that you gained in the industry to then translate onto them to help them be successful. Or you could end up in a role with us that is, called a development manager. Development manager, what they do is they just solely help people new to the industry develop in the industry and become successful. So a couple of things there that, are possible. So moving to what it's like in terms of, what compensation could look like for someone in this type of role. I don't know if you want to maybe speak to that.
This one on the, so if you're looking at the screen now, we have here what our numbers are here nationally. So in 2021, the average income of our financial professionals averaged $124,000 a year. Our top 50 financial professionals were exceeding $1 million, okay, in annual income. And again, I think everybody's path is different. I think we have people that come in and successfully and are very comfortable with earning that 124,000. And then we have other people who say, I'm going to do what I need to do to be that $1 million a year producer. It goes back to what Jim was saying earlier. People come into this business for different reasons. But I truly believe that you have to have those three eyes. It's got to all be part of that income, independence, and impact. You have to have some combination of those three in order to be successful. I'll share a little story about me. When I came into this business at 26 years old, I had a young daughter. Probably not the ideal opportunity, at least from my friends and family. Thought it was the worst thing that I could have possibly done. I did see the end game. I realized that it was hard work. Being a financial advisor is not an easy task. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of hard work. It's less victories than they are defeats, but you continue to work each and every day to get yourself better and develop those clients. And, for me, it was all about independence. I wanted my freedom. I wanted the autonomy to build my own schedule. I didn't want to check in with anyone. And that was kind of the first level of what kind of inspired me to stick with this career. I also enjoy helping people. That's something I do naturally. I tell people when I'm doing my interviews, if you Googled me today, you would see that I'm involved in a lot of different things in my local community. I'm involved in the Rotary Club, in an Italian American organization, the Elks. I was on the school board for 9 years. So I've done a lot of things because I enjoy helping people and it makes me feel good. And I also believe that we have a responsibility as human beings to put some good back into the world, right? So that was my secondary. And when I focused on those two things, because they were so important to me, the income just followed. And, for each of you, if you ever desire to move forward in the path of wealth management or financial professional, always keep in mind that those three eyes are going to be your guiding light to success. You just have to prioritize those to what your goals are. And as long as those three are always the forefront, you should have a great opportunity to be very successful in this career path. Where did you leave off there, Jim? All right. So let's take a look at some more compensation. So most people always want to know, how do we get paid, right? If I was going to go into this career, what can I look like as far as how I'm going to be paid for the work that I do? Okay. So most wealth management positions are always going to be based on some type of a performance-based opportunity, right? So if it's strictly wealth management, it's going to be assets under management. You'll be doing your annual reviews, charging fees for those services, but you'll have to do a lot of client development and make sure that you maintain that relationship in order to continue to maintain your income. The second option that you'll see here is the renewal income. So when we spoke earlier, we talked about that foundational planning, right? Really building in the protection that people need to ensure financial success long-term. All of those types of products that are layered into wealth management planning are going to also provide a renewal income. So as long as they are continued clients with you and New York Life, you'll continue to receive a residual income that's going to be payable to you for each and every year that they're part of the company and a client with you. In the earlier years, because things usually start slow, your learning curve getting into this business, New York Life will also allow for what we call a training allowance subsidy. So it'll create the opportunity to bring some additional dollars into that first year model so that you have the opportunity to build some additional income while you're learning the trade. And then last is the expense allowance. So as your production grows, you will also continue to earn an expense allowance that will continue to help offset some of the additional costs and advertising and marketing costs like that are associated with being a successful wealth advisor. Okay. And we're going to bring in the compensation to life. Okay. Top 25, year one, and this lays it out from year 1 to year 20. Top 25 agents within the entire company. Their average income in year 1 is about $106,000, and in year 20, let me just move my camera screen here, is $327,000. Okay, and if you go into your top 10, you can see how the numbers increase significantly, and then you'll get to see the top 100, and that income is ranging between $259,000 and $1.1 million. And the total averages maxes out over that 20-year period about $169,000. I will not bore you with the activity stipend because this is something that if you were coming on board, we'd have a deeper conversation with. And we're moving along onto our benefits. So New York Life being a Fortune 100 company, you're going to get all of the benefits that you would expect out of a Fortune 100 company. Access to a 401k, health insurance, dental insurance, all the ancillary products that you're going to need to not only for yourself, but as you grow and have a family, New York Life is going to be there to support the benefit side. As an advisor, you also have a defined benefit pension plan. Okay, along with your 401k. So New York Life is very much one of the few companies today that still offer a true defined benefit plan that your work that you do each and every year is going to facilitate a lifetime of income for yourself and for your family somewhere down the road. And I'm just going to scroll through so you can see what we offer. And I think this is a powerful slide, right? What is it? What is our impact, right? And we talk a lot about that. But New York Life, as of today, we got 5.5 million policy owners protected. We provide about $4.9 billion in benefits. We've been around for over 175 years. We are providing $938 million in pension benefits out to people who have purchased programs to secure pensions for themselves. We're the largest mutual insurer in the United States, and we have over $1.1 trillion in life insurance protection in force. And that's the impact that a company like New York Life carries nationwide. Okay. and talks a little bit about our values: financial strength, diversified business, mutuality. And for most of you who may not know mutuality, New York Life is a mutual company. We do not, our policy owners own the company, so we don't report to stockholders. We don't do anything like that. And it's really is what given us the opportunity to be able to maintain such stability over 177 years. All right. So anything else you want to add, Jim?
I don't think anything else in terms of the actual career specific to us. I know, you would send me some notes on types of things that people like to, what the group likes to hear about. And one of those things was, what career advice we might have. So I can maybe share a little bit about what I think there, and Danny can maybe provide the same. But I would just say that when it comes to coming out of college, you're going to have a degree, right? You're going to have something that states how educated you are. What I would tell you is that as you continue into a career post college, what you want to start to focus on after that is developing skills besides just what you learned in school. Because a degree is great. A degree can look great on a resume, but if you don't have skills, it's going to be hard to succeed long term, and it's going to be hard to acquire the position that you're looking for. So having things like sales skills, having things like communication skills, being able to work well with others as part of a team. I would continue to focus on developing skills. And if you have really good skills, you can end up doing anything that you want to do and not just be kind of stuck in one, type of career based off of what major, you might have studied. And when it comes to wealth management and investing and everything like that, my other main piece of advice I would have is that you guys are all young, coming out of college. I would assume, I can't see who we're talking to, so I assume you're college age students. But my advice would be when it comes to things like investing, saving, just start really early. Start as soon as you can. The first job that you get, pay yourself first. Start putting money into a 401k or whatever type of retirement plan that they have. Those of you who are familiar with wealth management, take a look at a compounding interest calculator. And if you start young, what that could look like, over 20, 30, 40 years, and compare that to what it looks like if you start 10, 15, 20 years from now, and how much more you'd have to invest, to get to the point where you're going to be comfortable in retirement. So that would be, just the main career advice I would have: develop skills. And, when it comes to your finances, get started early. You want to add just overall?
No, that's great. And I don't know if you could see on your side, but do we have people that are actually on?
Yeah.
Let's field some questions. I'm really curious, has to say going on as far as what they want us to do.
Fortunate enough, we give you some questions. So one of the members we have is first one, Sergio. Wealth management and advisory landscape involved in recent years. What do you see the most significant trends shaping industries?
So I would say that there's definitely been a much larger push in the industry itself as a whole, to get more qualified wealth managers on the platforms, right? What I can see over my 21-year career with New York Life as an advisor, we've become more important in the world. Most people are not necessarily doing their own finances at home, especially when it comes to retirement planning. And we're also in a landscape where there's a lot more generational money being moved to the younger generations. So there's been a much bigger need to be able to have the professionals in the industry to be able to meet the need. Okay, so it is a changing environment. And there's definitely been a push from just about every financial institution out there to bring more qualified people into the wealth management role, and have them successful. because there's a lot of opportunity, and that opportunity is going to continue to grow just through the use of generational and legacy money that goes from one generation to the next.
I would say a change that, you know, I haven't been in the industry as long as Danny has, but I would say a change that I'm sure people can notice would be how much of how many options there are now that are digital, where things can be really easy, you know, to get on Robinhood and start buying some stocks or, you know, go on an app and buy life insurance. So I think that's a change that has taken place, you know, in more recent years when it comes to the kind of the simplicity that, you know, can come along with getting started with things like this. But I also wouldn't allow that to be a reason that someone gets deterred from a career like this, because at the end of the day, you know, what we know is that when it comes to important things like your future, your retirement, your finances, people don't want to work with a bot, you know, on an app. They want to work with somebody that they know, that they trust, that they have a personal relationship that they know is going to keep their best interest in mind. So I would say that's a change that has taken place, but it's one that shouldn't scare anyone in the field or that is considering the career.
So, Brian, in light of the reasonable economic uncertainties, how do you approach risk, ensure long-term growth and capital preservation for your client?
I'll start with this one. You can answer. So what I would say is that no client, there's not one client that you'll ever meet in this career that are going to be the same, right? I mean, there's that model scope of how we design an investment strategy, right? And to keep it brief, the younger you are, the more aggressive you are, right? The older you get, you start to transition those assets into something that's going to be more secure. So to be able to generalize that answer, there's a lot of information you can include in that question. But what I would say is that that's that uniqueness of really being able to sit down one-on-one with a client and really understand what those needs are, what really they're concerned about. There's been too many times when I've done an investor profile, and before I did that profile, I've had a client say to me, I want to be very aggressive. I'm a very risky person, and I want to make sure that I can make, you know, 30% every year on my investments, right? The reality is that no one can guarantee that, right? That's the world of investments. And then when you get through the risk profile, you find out that they couldn't handle losing $5 on their $1 million investment, right? So I think you have to take the time really, and this is where that need comes in for wealth advisors, is to really be able to sit down, be a great listener, understand the complexity of the concerns in that household or that business, and be able to transition those solutions based on what's going to be the best recommendation that you can offer that is going to meet the needs of the individuals that you're meeting with. It's very, very difficult to generalize how to put together, you know, even and regardless of the economic environment, right? We've seen 2007, 2008, where the market was cut by 50%. And here we are today, right? The market's higher than it's ever been. And I think that's a real thing. Everyone is going to go through those highs and those lows. What we need to manage as wealth advisors is that if we're doing things correctly, when each of those generations are deciding to retire, they're positioned appropriately against an event like 2007 or 2008. That's key. Okay. And a lot of that is just conversation and understanding and setting the right expectations.
So, Caitlin asks, how do you believe artificial actually, my question actually, how do you think artificial intelligence and other emerging technologies like, for example, OpenAI and ChatGPT will impact the wealth management? How can financial professionals adapt to remain competitive between, you know, the younger generation saying, oh, I'm going to do AI, and the older generation saying, oh, I'm going to go for so.
Yeah, I can't speak for Dan, but I don't think we are educated enough on AI or ChatGPT on how any of that stuff works. We're kind of a little bit old compared to you guys, but it's the same thing I said before, though, which is regardless of technological advancements, when it comes to the type of things we talk about with clients, they want to do it with human face-to-face interaction. So maybe the, face-to-face could mean Zoom nowadays, or, FaceTime or whatever, but they want to work with humans. They want to work with people that they know. So, I don't think anyone should feel intimidated that, those new technologies are going to take away their livelihood or their ability to earn an income or have a job. For this type of field, I think there are fields where maybe that could be the case. However, this one, people want face-to-face interaction. They want, to meet the human. They want to work with people that they know and they trust. So that's probably the best answer I can give you on that.
Yeah, and I would add to that, for many, many, many years from the start of the internet, right? The internet was gathering information, right? That's what it's done. And we've been feeding that, right? We've been feeding the internet. And now what's happening is the opposite, right, with AI. So now we have the computer systems and the networks and the software pushing out information to us. And what I would say to that is that, and I'll start it with that, and I'll add this in because we started off this conversation saying it's so important for you to be able to individualize people's planning, right? And if we're going to use AI as a resource to push to us what we believe we need, the likelihood is that you're going to be just captured inside of what a system says you need, right? So we have to be mindful of that. I think that increases the value of somebody who's going to be a wealth manager coming into this industry, because the individualized planning is going to certainly outweigh over time anything that's going to happen in technology when you're kind of bundled into this system that says, well, because you look like other people or act like other people, this is what you should do, right? So we need to be mindful of that. Yeah.
So Madison, can you share your insights on the growing interest in ESG, environmental, social governance, investment? How can wealth managers effectively integrate ESG factors into their client portfolio? It's a hot topic. I know we actually, someone spoke about it at our last meeting. We asked a question about that.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I would think I don't know if we're going to get into real, deep details of that, but I think what it speaks to is this is a field of constant learning. You can't just come out of school with a finance degree and, get your Series 6 or get your Series 7, and then you're just educated for the rest of your career. You know everything that there is to know. This type of career can be impacted by things like what's going on with legislation, with things that are going on, in the political landscape, or things that are going on in other countries. So it can be impacted by a lot of different things. So without trying to get into deep details of, the topic there, I would just say the message I would have would be, you need to be up to date on what's going on in the world. You also need to be understanding of the way that things are changing all the time, and be ready to adapt with those changes. I feel like that's the best answer I could really.
And I was going to say, and I think a lot that goes into the ESGs and the model investing, right? It will work well for a population of people, but would an individual planner be able to go in and kind of look at the landscape and do more tailored fit investing options? There's no question. And sometimes your investment options may align perfectly with model type of investments, and you just happen to fit that mold well. But I will tell you, as things change for people, that you get further and further away from that model type investment.
With an aging global population, how do you think the wealth management industry should address the unique financial planning needs of retirees and those who are pushing up?
Well, it's like Danny talked about before. You have to know the goals of your clients. You have to have done good fact finding with them, to understand what they already have right now, what assets they currently have, what do they currently own, and then what's their risk profile. and you combine all that stuff, you should be able to come up with a strategy that not only makes sense for them, but also fits within their comfort level of investing. I would say for people maybe that are not pre-retiree, that maybe are a little bit farther out than that, one of the things that people should be thinking about is taxes. We're living in actually a kind of a lower tax environment than we have in many other years. And with a lot of the stuff that has taken place, in the world over the last couple of years, we should be anticipating higher taxes at some point. So, one of the really common things people do is they have a 401k, right? And they're deferring taxes to retirement. That might not be the best way to go about doing things, knowing that taxes are going to be going up in the future. So, having not only, your portfolio set up in a way, where you're concerned about your risk, you also want to be concerned about having the way your investments are going to be taxed diversified too. You want to have investments that maybe you pay taxes on now, maybe you pay taxes on later, like a 401k, and you want to have some things that you're doing where maybe you never pay taxes on it at all.
So getting along with the list, for just a second, that's my question. As I was doing research for the meeting, obviously I did know, Jim, that you were actually FSCP. Can you talk to our members a little bit about this?
Yeah, so FSCP is Financial Services Certified Professional. It's through the American College of Financial Services. So the American College is a real college in Pennsylvania. But for people that work in this field, what a lot of people do is they earn designations through it. So there's many other ones that you can do: charter, financial services, and CLU, and RICP. There's a whole bunch of different designations that you can do. But it's just a way that you can advance your education. So I mentioned that before. This is a field of constant learning. But it's almost like it's not a degree or certification, but it's advancing your education in the field. A company like ours, pays for it. So if you're thinking about, furthering your education, once you get into a career like this, I would look into what companies, offer for things like that. But yeah, it was about 8 courses that I took, kind of a hybrid model. Some of it was self-guided, some of it was live through Zoom. But you walk out of it, learning. It's really what it's all about.
So even going off of that question, because I actually asked this question probably over a previous semester, in the wealth management industry, do you personally feel like it's important to have your CFA and CFP, or just the CFP? Because I heard from other speakers like, oh, the CFA, the CFP, and both. What's your take?
I'll jump in on that. I think that the CFA is a great level of educational knowledge. Okay. What I can tell you from my experience and seeing the scope of advisors that I've gone through in my career as well, the CFP is probably going to hold at a much different level on that Main Street industry than the CFA.
So now I'm getting back. Mitchell, can you, because I know we talked about earlier in the conversation about, how it's important to communicate with your clients in person, but can you discuss, again, the importance of it, like how relation management is very important, and also can you share us some strategy for building those long-lasting relationships?
Yeah, I would say what is important is you have to understand life events happen all the time. On average, every 6 months, life events take place for people. So, and when you're in an advisory position like ours, you have to understand that your clients' goals and their concerns and whatever strategy you have in place for them, it might make sense for them right now, but it might not make sense for them 6 months from now, a year from now, or 2 years from now. So it's your responsibility to make sure that you're staying in touch with them and checking in on a regular basis to make sure that there's nothing that's taking place in their life. Like, did they buy a new home? Did they have a child? Did they get married? Did they get laid off? Did they get promoted? There's a lot of different things that can happen, and it's your responsibility to stay in touch to make sure that you're aware. And if, you are aware of those things, it's another way that you can provide them the appropriate service for them at that time. So some of the strategies for that would be, for one, what we do with our clients is we do at least an annual review. Once a year, you get together with each client, talk about how things are going, if there's any changes we need to make. The other thing I would say is it's really smart to use social media for that too. So, if you do become, you pick up a new client, add them on Facebook, connect with them on LinkedIn, whatever other, Instagram, whatever you guys use now, add them on social media, because then when people announce, that they just bought the new home, or they announce on LinkedIn that they just got a new job, those are reasons then you can be proactive to go reach out to your clients and not wait for them to come to you.
Yeah, and I would add to that, one of the fundamental components, right, is trust. You can have a lot of credentials, right? You could have a lot of initials and letters after your name of all of these wonderful certifications and programs you've completed. And you can be an intelligent individual and making the best recommendations in the world. But if you don't establish the trust relationship, people are just not going to do business with you. They're going to want to know that you're not only going to be with them for today, but you are going to be an intricate part of the story that you're putting together for that. They want to grow with you. And if they feel that, they're going to work with you. And if they don't feel that, you're just as good as the last person that walked in and tried to sell them a bad deal. So just be mindful, if you're going to come into wealth management, you need to have that capacity to really want to help people. Goes back to that impact factor. And sometimes helping people doesn't necessarily generate revenue, but goodwill eventually turns into revenue. And I think that anyone who really comes into this business and wants that capacity, they really need to lead with wanting to build strong, trusted relationships, regardless of the outcome at first, because planting those seeds will create harvests down the road.
So, Mitchell. What are your thoughts on the rise of digital assets, such as, for example, cryptocurrencies, tokens, that in the wealth management, and how can Biden incorporate because I think two moments that you asked that question, I know someone like, oh, you don't want to deal. You sometimes do it.
So I'm going to tell you that this is, and I'm going to tell Mitchell, thank you for the question, but this is going to be an easy one to answer. I'm going to tell you that at one point I own crypto. Okay. However, and I have to put a big however over there because the compliance was here, right? They'd be dragging me out of handcuffs. What I will tell you is that, cryptocurrency right now is not an accepted security, right, in the United States. So for the most part, you're not going to get anybody who is registered, SEC registered, to even have that conversation. And that's probably the reason why you get some of that, that uncomfortableness, right? I know that I had to go through a list of 27 different requests from our broker dealer that I can't talk about it. I can't offer it to anybody. I can't even have a conversation with somebody about it. So they're pretty tight and restricted on it. I forgot the name of the most recent one that the XRP, I think it was. They had a big lawsuit with the SEC, and crypto is something that is going to be a tough one. I mean, is there a potential for success? Listen, depending on who you're talking to, it is the next currency. For other people, it's something that's just going to fizzle away, and somebody's going to get rich out of it, and many are not. So we can't talk too much about it, but I can tell you that part of the reason why you're going to get a lot of that kind of awkwardness when that question's asked is simply because we're all registered with either FINRA or the SEC, and we're really not allowed to even discuss things like that. So you saw a couple of actors that sued. They got fined for putting an Instagram post up about them. Yeah, and they're not even registered.
Sorry, Kevin, In your experience, how is the role of collaboration, with various financial professionals involved in the wealth management process? How can advisors create a holistic approach to managing their clients' pension needs?
Repeat that.
Yeah, can you do the first part of the question again?
Yeah, in your experience, how has the role of collaboration with various financial professionals evolved in the wealth management process? And how can advisors create a holistic approach to managing their clients' financial needs?
Well, the holistic part of that, I don't know if I really understand what the first part of the question, but the holistic part of it is pretty simple. You know, again, it goes back to understanding the needs and concerns that your clients have. So making sure that there's, diversification within what you're doing, but also like, we're shameless plug for things like life insurance, but that's part of planning too, right? Planning is not just what you're doing to invest. Part of it is what you have set up to protect yourself and your income, and your family. So, our philosophy on the holistic approach is it starts from, the financial house. The foundation is protection. You build up the walls with accumulation, and then, on the top, the roof of the house is going to be preservation and not outliving your money when you get to retirement. So, that structure is what we use to make sure we're being holistic. But again, I don't know if I really followed the first part of that.
Yeah, and what I would also add is, and think of different professions, right? Accountants, for instance, right? Accountants work on a very strategic year-to-year basis with the outcome that they're going to get you every deduction, right? And every tax saving that they can get to make sure that you're getting back the biggest refund. That's great, right? Everybody wants that. In that fight to making sure that you're getting all of those refunds, right? They're big on put money deferred if you need to, right? Because you're going to get that tax benefit today. Sometimes going down that path can also have long-term disadvantages to what their initial intent is. So when we talk about a holistic approach, I think it's really about making sure that we're looking at not just the next 12 months or not the next 18 months, but really putting a forecast out, looking at diversification. How do we get the best outcome, right, with what we're putting in for information, and also making it realistic, right? Too many times we see, and I see them all the time when I'm sitting down with a client, they show me this beautiful proposal from a competitor, and they're running illustrations that are showing a 12 and a 15% rate of return, right? It's not realistic. And, when you're not setting up guardrails and you're giving somebody the impression that they're going to earn 12 to 15% a year every year, I don't look at that as great guidance, right? I need to be able to show somebody that a 2007 or 2008 could happen next year. And I want that to be included in as a guardrail so that people really know what the expectations are. So, from a holistic standpoint, I think it really comes back to understanding that client, being able to put together the plan that works best, not only based on your experience and your knowledge, but aligns well with the people that you work with.
One more solicitors. So as the wealth management industry becomes increasingly globalized and interconnected, what strategies do you recommend for advisors to stay up to date on the international market trends and investment opportunities, even regulatory developments?
Well, what you'll find is that a lot of those resources are going to be available. You're going to take the path in wealth management. You're already going to be subjected to certain regulatory components that you're going to have to provide on. Continuing education is huge. If you're not going to continually educate yourself on trends that are changing, that are available in your toolkit, you won't be in this business very long. So for each of us, the longer we're in this business, the more we're exposed to the environment that allows us the continuing education that pushes that training and education right down throughout your career. I don't know if, and I'll share this, every year we have to do an annual
training session for FINRA. It's a requirement. And, the things that are important that are changing are usually inserted into those. So we're always in a place where we're following trends. And now if you're specialized in foreign markets, you may have a concentration and you may do special and specific certifications for that. But it really depends on that advisor and their path. And then they can kind of direct where their education and research.
Yeah, like me, because I'm actually an accounting major myself, so I do actually do intensive webinars for CPP, so I can totally get it.
Yeah.
So I got through all the questions on the list here, so now I'm gonna ask the final question. And this actually goes for both of you. It's actually a two-parter. So the first part of that question is if you had to go back to your past self, what would the one thing you want to tell your past self what she would have done? And we do know I do have, I think just by some of the faces I know on the call there, I know some freshmen, sophomores who are right now have decided what to move on management, they're planning on doing so. But what advice would you give them to say, hey, you should consider a career wealth management? What advice would you give them for those freshmen or sophomores who have decided?
Well, we go first.
You go first.
All right. So for me, I came into this career at 26 years old with a 4-year-old. If I went back, I would have come into this business at 22 with not a 4-year-old. Right? Keeping that part simple. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Maybe independence would have been as important to me. And I'll share a story for everyone. A very good friend of mine, and we are similar in age. He's a couple years younger than me. We had two very different paths with New York Life. He took the path of coming in straight out of college. He was a Montclair State graduate. Walked in, he was supposed to be an attorney. He interned at a law firm and decided that was not the path he wanted to take. Political science major, came to New York Life, started as an agent, 2 years, moved into being a partner similar to me and Jim. And he wasn't done there. He had bigger dreams, right? So he continued to pursue it, got promoted to senior partner, then took a managing partner position in another state, spent some time in home office, came back to run the GO where he started. And now he's recently gotten promoted and is working alongside the CEO. And the likelihood is that I believe that they are grooming him to be the next CEO of New York Life, right? So that was his career. Right, he saw it. He was young, came out of college, fresh out of college, and it's a great story to tell, right? And he just took that management path. Somebody like me, if I would have done it differently, I would have certainly come in at 22. Would have, by the time I was 26 and 27, I would have certainly been in a very, very financially secure position, where my outcome would have been even better than it is today, because it would have added another 4 or 5 years of client capacity and assets under management. That those 5 years would add a big difference, right? Going back to what Jim was saying, right? Even investing young, you start investing at 21 years old versus 31 years old. It's a huge, huge difference in the end. So if somebody's serious and really interested in it, it's not an easy path. Like I would say that to anybody. This will challenge every bit of who you are as a person to be successful in this industry. And if you are willing to make the sacrifice to do the work and follow the process, there are some amazing outcomes. That $1 million a year is not something that is not reachable. It's happening. People are getting there. And there's a lot of distance between that 125 and that 1 million. Right? That I think most people would be completely happy and comfortable with, even if they got to $500,000. So, I'll turn it over to Jim.
I don't know if I really have much different. I would definitely have gotten into it sooner. The only other thing I probably would say to tell myself would be, I learned probably in my late 20s, the importance of things like professional development, spending time reading, listening to podcasts, you know, things that are going to help you hone and improve the skills that we talked about before. I would have liked to have started the career earlier, and I would have liked to have done things to develop myself sooner, because again, that like kind of compounding interest effect of had I done that at, you know, 2021 versus later, you know, not that I'm in a bad place right now, but where could I be if had I started sooner? And so I don't really think I have more than that.
Yeah, I think the earlier you do it, the better off you are, but I also believe that you have to have the belief to do it. Without that, it's a tough ride. It's a difficult journey. But the journey is awesome. It is something that you really feel like it's something you can do. The journey is amazing. And the freedom that comes with it is even better.
Yeah, and this, the only other thing I might say would be, I think we're kind of taught that to go with what's safe. We're taught to go to the 9 to 5, get the stable base salary, go to the job that's got good benefits. Like we're taught to look for safety and security in that way. And I just would also say, don't be scared to just go for not that, because there's a lot of really good stuff that can come from a career where you have, you're paid based off of how much effort you put in and how much impact you make. And you can do it in a way where you have control over your time and you can prioritize your families and things like that. I would say don't necessarily feel like you have to fit into the norm of the 9 to 5 and the base salary and all that. If you want to make a lot of money, you want to have a lot of impact, and you want to have free time and you spend your time the way you want to spend it, you're probably not going to be able to do it in the 9 to 5 with the safe base salary. So
the journey will make you make your own state.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to speak to us today. Hopefully our members here will please connect with them on LinkedIn. Yeah, thank you guys so much. Members, they have announcements, but yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much.
I appreciate it.
all right, thanks.
Getting